Good evening, everyone. Urav Desai here with the tropical update for Thursday, September 27, 2018. And taking a look at the Atlantic today, we do still have Tropical Storm Kirk, which is just about to start impacting the Lesser Antilles. It actually has already started impacting Barbados here, excuse me, and it's going to impact the other areas in the Lesser Antilles soon enough. And we have the remnants of Tropical Storm Leslie, which look to be definitely starting to redevelop and probably will redevelop soon. And taking a look at the National Hurricane Center site, you can see they have the remnants of Leslie, post-tropical cyclone Leslie, 90% chance of redevelopment forming into a subtropical or possibly tropical storm within the next 48 hours in the next 5 days. So at this point, redevelopment does seem imminent and will probably occur tonight or tomorrow. And we also have this other disturbance here, 0% chance of development though, just off the coast of New England. So that's not, no one needs to worry about that. We don't even need to really mention it. And also in the East Pacific though, we do also have some stuff to talk about. As we have Hurricane Rosa, major hurricane, Category 3 hurricane, with winds of 125 miles an hour. We also have this invest here south of Mexico with a high chance of development, 70% over the next 48 hours and a 90% chance of development over the next 5 days. And it does look like it will be following in Rosa's path. And if we do take a look at the invest tracks, most of these models do have it. This is the GEFS tracks, which is the GFS ensemble members. And most of them do have it heading north by day 7, this is, and possibly eventually impacting Baja California, but that's way too far out as that's about 240 hours away. So don't need to pay attention to that right now if you live in that area. But what you should be paying attention to is this right here, Hurricane Rosa, Category 3 hurricane right now. And you can see on the satellite image, it just looks very organized now, and the eye is cleared out. And it's a very rounded, symmetric system. And it's continuing to rapidly intensify. And it's forecast to become a Category 4, actually. And if you take a look at the 5-day cone, you can see that they have it. NHC has it remaining a major hurricane through Saturday before it finally starts to weaken as it encounters some cooler waters here near Baja California. And then it does have it making landfall somewhere here along the Baja California Peninsula by Monday. And then, however, it will be a tropical storm by then, but it will still be bringing some heavy rain and gusty winds. And then it will be heading inland into northern Mexico, and will also even bring some impacts to southern California here, southeastern California, and parts of southern Arizona. They could definitely get some rain and wind from this as well. Looking at the forecast discussion, the NHC does have it peaking at a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 140 miles an hour within the next 24 hours. Then it does start to weaken after that, and then by the time it does approach the Baja California Peninsula, so at day 4 it has a 70 miles per hour, and it'll be closing in, and then by the time day 5 it has a 45 miles per hour. So by the time it makes landfall, it'll probably be a moderate tropical storm, 50 to 60 mile an hour winds perhaps, which is definitely formidable, and it will definitely bring some heavy rain and flooding along with some gusty tropical storm forced winds. And taking a look at the track models, you can see that it is about to make that turn north soon, and they all have it impacting, most of them have it impacting Baja California, and there are 2 models that have it even going into California and making landfall there. That would definitely be some sight to see, as California rarely gets any tropical storms at all, but that's looking unlikely, and it's more likely to impact Baja California here in Mexico. And looking at the intensity forecast, most of the models do have it remaining a major hurricane for the next couple of days. Some have it peaking at Category 4 strength, and then it will start weakening as it approaches that cooler water, but it will still probably be a tropical storm at landfall, like I had said. And now looking at the remnants of Leslie, or post-tropical storm Leslie, is now looking definitely more organized than it did a couple of days ago. There's not much thunderstorm activity right now. Most of it is surrounding the center of circulation, though. And there's definitely a lot of rotation involved right now with the storm, as you can tell. by the satellite image, and it probably will get designated as a subtropical storm sometime tonight or tomorrow. And if we take a look at the track models, right now it's right here, and the models do have it heading in the southwesterly direction over the next couple of days. But then after that, it's really jumbled, and that's probably just going to stall here in the central Atlantic for several days to come. That's what the models do show. But it does not look like the storm will be any threat to land, which is definitely good. But the storm that is a threat to land is Tropical Storm Kirk, which is currently impacting Barbados with some very heavy rain. Right now, as you can see, these thunderstorms, these cold cloud tops, are right over Barbados right now. But if you also look at the satellite image, you can see that Kirk has definitely looking less and less organized as it heads further and further west, as it heads into the area of high wind shear, as most of the thunderstorm activity is now east of the center of circulation, which has already approached the islands, but most of the islands have not received the thunderstorms yet, as all of the thunderstorm activity is east of the center. And if we do take a look at the wind shear map, if I refresh that, you can see that now Kirk is being impacted by this wind shear of up to 50 knots. So it's probably going to be dying out very shortly. And if we do take a look at the 5-day cone, Tropical Storm Kirk, the NHC does have it weakening to a depression by Saturday, and then it will be dissipating entirely as quickly as Saturday evening, as it continues to head into that high wind shear area, and it will get ripped apart and then become a remnant low for the second and probably final time, as is not likely for it to redevelop after that. And if we do take a look at the models, most of the models do have it in that area here in the central North Caribbean. But these areas of like the Greater Antilles, Cuba, Jamaica, and Hispaniola may still see some impacts, even if it is not a depression or a storm at this point, because they might definitely still get some heavy rain and flooding. So these areas should still pay attention to this storm and should take caution. And if you look at the intensity models, almost all of the models are in agreement that the storm is going to continue to weaken further and will become a remnant low as soon as 24 hours from now, as it goes into that high wind shear, unfavorable environment. Now, taking a look at the future for the tropics over the next few days at the 18Z GFS model, you can see it has Kirk dissipating as all the models do. And if we take a look at Leslie, it does have Leslie heading south and then just stalling here in the central Atlantic by day 5 and not looking like it'll be any threat to land. And if we compare that to the European model has almost the exact same solution, with Leslie here in the central Atlantic, well east of Bermuda and any other land masses, and looking like it will be no threat to land. Now taking a look at the current conditions on the east coast of the U.S., more rain and more rain, not a surprise at all. We've just been continuing to see so much rain recently, and we have another frontal boundary here that's been bringing some very heavy rain now to areas such as Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and areas further north into West Virginia and Pennsylvania, and now it's also starting to head into New York and New Jersey. And some very heavy rain is going to be continuing. We had some heavy rain last night, and then tonight it's going to be more heavy rain to come, and that rain will continue into tomorrow. As we take a look at the forecast, the GFS, you can see that it does have the rain continuing until Friday afternoon into Friday evening, when the system finally starts to pull out. And then after that, Saturday and Sunday does look dry, fortunately, as well as Monday. And then Tuesday, there could be another chance for some rain showers in the area. So at least we'll get a few days of a break from the rain, which is definitely great. And taking a look at the temperature forecast, you can see that the temperatures are going to be seasonable over the next few days. It's going to be a very great, beautiful fall weekend as we start to usher in October, which is like basically the first true month of fall for most of these areas, as September is honestly just another extension of summer for much of these areas, such as Virginia and West Virginia as it's usually not that cool yet by the time September comes around. But when October starts is when it really starts to cool down, and we see those fall conditions and those fall colors, which should be starting to come out within the next couple of weeks, especially in the areas here in the higher mountains of New York and into areas of New England, such as Maine and New Hampshire. And if we do take a look at the temperatures through Sunday, it does continue to stay seasonable, but then it does start to warm up again starting Monday, with temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 for much of the area. And then Tuesday, it gets even warmer with temperatures in the upper 70s and even 80s. And then that continues through Wednesday with lower to mid 80s spread throughout. And it continues on Thursday with even some areas of 90 in Virginia. That's right, 90 degrees in October. So summer is definitely not going away just yet. And we're going to be continuing to experience these summer-like temperatures at least for another week. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.